Chris Christie shuts down the hens from The View. By the way, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Make sure you like today's video, subscribe. I post new videos every single day. And comment MAGA to help boost this in the algorithm. Let's get into it.
The 2024 presidential election is fewer than 2 weeks away, and we're all holding our collective breaths. I personally haven't slept since June. Here to give us his perspective on the neck-and-neck race between the candidate and the conspiracy theorist is former New Jersey Governor and ABC News political contributor, Chris Christie. Welcome back. So, Chris, before we get into anything else, I want to know if you have anything to say about our conversation. Do you want to weigh in on it?
Well, I thought the screw you thing was great Jersey way to end the segment.
Well, that's...
that was
Brooklyn.
really good.
That's Brooklyn.
You know, we're going to adopt her for that one. No, look, I do think that the coverage that you were talking about, I think the reason for it is he's numbed us.
Yeah. He's numbed us.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 9 years of relentless lowering and lowering of the bar, and after a while, everybody becomes numb, and most particularly the people who spend a lot of their lives on this. You know, a lot of the American people kind of dodge in and out of political conversation, but for people like all of you sitting around this table, like me, who do this for a living, you've been relentlessly hit with his language for all that
have
time.
At least fact-checked along the way, because all of these lies have accumulated.
This is what's so annoying about liberals, especially these bitches, is they always say, oh, Donald Trump, all he does is lie and lie and lie. So does every politician, including Kamala Harris. Come on, bitch.
Since he came down on that escalator.
Look, as a matter of ethics, yes. But I will say that the fact-checking that goes on at times helps him. Because for those people who feel aggrieved, they feel like, oh, well, they're just picking on him. And I think the last thing we need to do in these last 10 days is to make him more of a martyr than he is already. And so,
By not fact-checking him? His supporters.
But I mean, I think that at this point, the people who know that he's a liar, they've already made up their minds. You know, they've made up their minds of where they're going to vote. The people who don't believe or actually do believe everything that he says, you're not going to change their minds either.
What about those undecided?
Those undecideds, I really don't believe the undecideds are making the decision on Donald Trump.
There's people, Chris, who have Trump amnesia, that have forgotten, because for 4 years we've had a decent man and a decent woman as his vice president in the White House who don't talk this way, who don't say these things. And I think that some people have forgotten. And to me, it's important to remind them, because for some people, it does matter.
I just don't think those people are going to vote, Anna.
What about
if they have that kind of amnesia, they're not going to vote. And for the first time voters...
I would have liked to forget him.
Yeah, I think that what's going on here is it's all up to Vice President Harris. The people who have, at this point, 10 days out, not already decided they're voting for Trump, they're not voting for Trump.
Yeah.
They're either voting for Harris or they're not voting.
Well,
and so, for me, that's why I think that what the vice president's doing now should be focused exclusively on closing the deal about why she would be the best president. Saying that, you know, Donald Trump is awful and a fascist and all the rest of that, I don't disagree with any of it. But
see, he's such a freaking cringe Trump derangement syndrome Republican. Rhino, Republican in name only.
Those people already sold. So if you believe that, they're sold. It's done.
So who do you think is going to win? Who's going to win?
Look, 10 days ago, I would have told you that she's going to win.
And now?
And I think she's had a bad 10 days.
Why?
Because I don't think there's advantage and disadvantage to having come in the race as late as she did. The advantage is she didn't have to go through all the primaries and go through all of that goes on that wears you down a bit. But the disadvantage is people don't know her. I mean, yes, look.
She's been the vice president for almost 4 years.
You know,
How could they not
Sonny,
know
you
her?
know the old joke. A woman had 2 sons.
Yes.
One went to sea, the other became vice president of the United States. Neither were ever heard from again. I mean, the job of the vice president is to stand 3 steps behind the president, out of focus.
Well,
they didn't know.
Then why did they keep accusing her of not doing anything when she was vice president? What did Mike Pence do, I'd like to know?
Nothing. Like, look. But see, I think that's part of. I think that's part of the problem too with the vice president. I think one of the things that she needs to say when they're blaming her for certain things that were the president's decision.
Right.
I had a lieutenant governor. I got to tell you, most of the time I didn't ask her, like, "Are you think I'm right on this or not?" I mean, she gave her input. I made a decision.
Yeah.
It's my decision, not hers.
Right, yep.
So I think Vice President Harris should say, and she didn't say it here. I watched you guys that day. When you asked her, You know, what would you do different than Biden? She didn't say it. I gotta believe there are things she disagreed with him on. You're human beings. You're gonna have.
Well, they've had
she's a bright woman with a mind of her own. Yeah. She's clearly gonna have times where she looked at President Biden and said,
They've
I
had a
wouldn't do
successful
that.
administration, though, and she's not going to throw him under the bus. But
there's a difference, though, Sonny, between throwing somebody under the bus and saying, I had an honest disagreement with him on X, whatever it is. Because you can have an honest disagreement with someone you have enormous respect for.
why not?
I think that is a valid point, and that's like the reason why a lot of people view Kamala Harris as completely phony for among many other reasons. But that being, of course, she had disagreements with the Biden administration, and she's freaking running on change. If she's running on change, she should point out what she didn't agree with. So that's just my humble opinion. I'm going to fast forward to when it gets more feisty now.
What Charlemagne the God was talking about yesterday. We are holding her to this high standard of her closing message needs to be this and this and this and that. His closing message is Arnold Palmer's package.
Right.
Yeah. Dancing for 39 minutes like a wacko job.
It was generals.
You're making fries and McDonald's, so why don't you tell him something? Why don't we talk about his closing message? What do you think about that?
What I think about that is that he is who he's always been, and he's not going to gain any voters in these last 10 days.
That's the point. I mean, that you don't want to talk about his.
No.
You're spending all this time
Something I don't want to talk about it.
Kamala.
I'm not criticizing.
Sounds like a criticism
Let's
to
be
me.
clear, Anna. Well, then you got to open your ears. What I'm saying is trying to give her suggestions on how I think she can close the deal.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's, you know, the bottom line is I'm not here to be a cheerleader for her. I'm here to say, based on what I've learned in politics over time, what she needs to do to close the deal. She's got an opportunity to go up. I don't think he does.
Okay, but Republicans who are having a hard time, right, closing the voting for her. You think hearing, and I'm talking about now.
Why should a Republican vote for her? Like, they need to be expelled from this party. Gosh.
National security Republicans who care about the military. You think
Republicans who care about the military, so they should want her when she's just going to get us involved in more foreign wars? Like, what are you talking about?
hearing John Kelly say that he is a fascist and that what he said about Hitler doesn't make a difference to those Republicans?
I don't think. I think those Republicans have already figured out that they
so.
don't like him, or else they're Republicans. They'd be voting for him. Yeah. What they're trying to figure out is, okay, I don't want to vote for him. Am I going to vote for her or vote for no one?
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to figure out. Because those undecided voters
who don't vote for her. You think hearing from John Kelly doesn't help them?
No. I think hearing from her about, and I thought one of the things she did on CNN a couple of nights ago that was really good was when she started to say, I'm going to be practical.
Yep.
I want to get things done. I'm going to have a to-do list. He's going to have an enemies list.
That was a great
like, that's what people want to hear. They want to hear that government's going to stop being this perpetual argument, and it's going to be something that's going to move forward issues that you care about. If she can convince people that she's not going to be a partisan Democrat, but she's going to be a president for everybody, even the people who didn't vote for her.
And collaborate and have people in. Because that's what I was going to say is that.
Oh my gosh. Anyone who falls for that crap from Kamala, like, I'm sorry, you're stupid. And I do think that's the best advice for the Kamala campaign. To be honest, I don't always agree with Chris Christie because he's obviously a fat rhino, but some good advice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Comment an orange heart if you're still watching for the algorithm. I'll see you next time.